ADHD affects every waking moment of a child's life and can have a huge toll on a family and a relationship between a father and mother. Looking after a child with ADHD is often compared to looking after a child with a serious developmental problem like cerebral palsy, or a child who has serious, severe autism, because it's a disability. And it can involve enormous amounts of emotional energy that needs to be invested. And if one partner is solely responsible and puts the effort in, it can have a huge impact and drive a wedge in the relationship between parents. Do you know, one of the realities that I think I need to tell you about is that if you have a child with ADHD, there is an enormously increased chance that one or both parents have ADHD. In my practice over many years, having dealt with thousands of parents, children who have serious mental illnesses or developmental problems or medical problems, the consequence, not only with ADHD, is the dissolution and the sort of kind of the removal of the attachment between parents. And the divorce rate in these long-term problems is huge. I often warn parents that if they don't work together, and remember, if one of the parents have ADHD, it doesn't necessarily have to be the male or the father. It can also be the mother. That can have a huge impact. So getting help for yourself makes a huge difference. When I assess children and we often make a diagnosis in a child, there's almost a little knowing, kind of little glance between parents. They will look at each other and you can see that they are starting to recognize those symptoms either in themselves or their partner. And unless those are recognized and managed, you know, if a mother has ADHD, it has a much greater impact on a child and the relationship in the family, because the basic organization you get from your mother, a mum's always a lot more involved in the basic organization, right from obviously the moment of conception, carrying the child, and right throughout that early part of development. Talking has a huge impact on a child's emotional and intellectual development. So having a good understanding as a parent, the most important treatment I find is understanding and education. When you understand that this is a disability, your child is not out there to plot against you and undermine you. Getting the right medication and getting the right help. ADHD also goes together with other comorbidities, learning problems. Not only that, is emotional, psychological, anxiety, depression. And a lot of comorbidities, and parents need to be managed. So the management of a child with ADHD, first of all, starts with managing parents' ADHD. And then, of course, you need to work together. I must say, one of the biggest changes in my practice over the last 20 years is seeing the involvement of fathers in the management, coming in, involving themselves. That makes a huge difference. Of course, the biggest difference in my generation is women are educated, they've got jobs, they've also got lives to lead. They've also got their own lives. And they should not be expected to deal with these problems all on their own. So I must say it is a collaborative effort, getting help for your child, getting help for yourselves and managing the comorbidities, anxiety, depression. The divorce rate amongst anybody untreated with ADHD. 38% of girls have teenage pregnancies that have untreated ADHD. You're less likely to finish school, get good grades, postgraduate education, driving cars, health, financial management. All these things have massive impact. So in my opinion, managing ADHD and managing the risks in a marriage is holistic. It's not segmental. You need to look at the big picture.